So this is Prayers of Queen Kunti, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.40. So I'll just start right away. So Queen Kunti, she has been praying to Lord Krishna, and she prayed in last few verses. She was praying to Lord Krishna for the underlying intention of her prayers is that Krishna should stay back in Hastinapur while actually he's planning to go to Dwarka. So Kunti is praying and glorifying Lord Krishna, but here now in this verse she is praying to Krishna and she's glorifying him by saying, all the cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance, trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, hills are full of minerals, and oceans are full of wealth. All this is due to your glancing over them. She's bringing a philosophical point, and in fact, after glorifying Lord Krishna, after actually glorifying him and telling him that this battle of Kurukshetra, which was very heavy and big Maharathas were there, Bhishma, Drona, and it was almost impossible for them to win this battle without Krishna's help. Although Prabhupada mentions Yudhishthir was the incarnation of Dharma, Arjuna was incarnation of Nara, he was the best fighter, but in spite of that, without Krishna, they couldn't have surpassed so many problems which actually they had to face in their life. So Kunti was saying that Krishna, we are dependent on your mercy. That's the point she was trying to bring. Why? With his intention that now he is leaving, but when he leaves, they will be devoid of his mercy. And that fact Kunti could not digest. She was feeling a little morose in her heart that maybe Krishna is going, and perhaps he's actually rejecting them, and due to this rejection, they will be devoid of this mercy, and without him, nothing is perfect. Nothing, you can't achieve anything without him, and that's why Kunti is now coming to this point that not only her, but everything is dependent on mercy of Lord. So not only their family, Yadus and Vrishnis were dependent on the mercy of Lord Krishna, but in fact everything, trees, fruits and oceans, everything is dependent on mercy of Lord. So what do you mean by everything? What is dependent? So Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 10th chapter and 12th verse is a very beautiful verse, and it's often quoted by many of our acharyas to show that without his mercy, everything is dark. So that verse says, Dravya kala karmascha, dravyascha kalas karmascha, svabhav jivayavacha, anugrahadaha yat santi na santi yad upekshaya. That four things are completely dependent on his mercy. First is dravyam. Dravyam means whatever we see all around us, earth, water, fire, air, ether. They are dependent on mercy of Lord, because without his mercy, fire is not fire, and water is not water, and earth is not earth. So kalas, time is dependent on mercy of Lord. Without Krishna, time cannot move. So the movement of time into past, present and future, that's dependent on Krishna. Without him, everything pauses. In fact, time is Lord Krishna, no? So Dravya cha kalas cha karmas cha, the activities of living entities, they are dependent on mercy of Lord, because without his mercy, we will not have the inspiration and the strength to carry out our activities. We might remember something, but we will not have that inspiration to carry out that desire, and also the strength in our body, which is dependent on mercy of Lord. And jiva svabhava vacha, and the swabhava of the jiva. That means his enjoying tendency is also dependent on mercy of Lord. Now that's an interesting point, because Prabhupada raises that point in this purport and in that purport also, and he explains that we want to enjoy this material world, that's a problem. But our enjoyment is dependent on his mercy, because no matter how much we try to enjoy by scientific improvement, by big industrial enterprises, which Prabhupada writes here, but when time comes, Krishna by his desire will crush all the enjoyments of our living entities, and they'll be annihilated helplessly. So whoever is enjoying in this material world, the enjoyment is dependent on mercy of Lord, because he can destroy everything in a moment. He's allowing them to do scientific improvement, allowing them to enjoy. Why? Because if they keep on enjoying by their actions, someday they will realize that this enjoyment is not leading to enjoyment. And at that point, either they will become Mayavadis or they'll become devotees. So so when person becomes frustrated by his enjoyment, that this is not enjoyment, this is boring, this is frustrating. No, that's what happens in this material world. No, if you keep on enjoying, you become mad, and then you no longer want to enjoy, and then the person goes from this swing to other swing, and he becomes Tyagi and meditator. Okay, leave all enjoyment, go to Himalayas and stop everything and sit in meditation. That's what happens. And Prabhupada says, illusory energy then whispers into the ears of conditioned soul, become one with God. That's the idea. So while he was enjoying, he was away from God. And now he is frustrated of this enjoyment, and he wants to leave all enjoyment, and he goes in a cave, meditates, but Maya is not going to leave you if you leave enjoyment. That's Maya will always want to catch you. Maya will say, okay, you have been separate from Lord and now become one with him. And that might give you some enjoyment, and you become Mayavadi. But if you're fortunate, you meet devotees, and devotees tell you that the message of God is not to become one with him, but to enjoy with him. That Prabhupada writes in that purport. To enjoy with Krishna, that's the aim of life. So that's a proper constitutional position. So Jiva Swabhava, whatever Swabhava we have, it is dependent on mercy of Lord. By mercy we will realize that we have to enjoy with him, or we have to participate in his enjoyment, not in our enjoyment. By his mercy only we will be allowed to enjoy in this material world. When time comes, he will annihilate everything. So it's almost like parents, when children are playing in the house and they are being naughty and disturbing everybody. So they think, we are like James Bond and we can do anything. We can do this. But they don't know that parents are allowing them to do that mischievous activity. They can stop anytime. They can just put them in a room, lock them and tie them, whatever they can do. But they are allowing them. Although they don't realize that they think we are independent, but they are not independent. Somebody is overlooking and it is allowed. So like that. So it's an illusion to think that we are not dependent on mercy of Lord. That's an illusion. So we can do anything. Well, you can do anything until he allows. When he doesn't want to allow, you will not be able to do anything. So in that sense, your freedom is also dependent on God. So we are having free will, we can do anything, but it's dependent on Supreme Lord. If he wants, by his free will, he can annihilate our free will. He can just put us into black hole, finish. So this is a very good concept, and that's what Kunti Maharani is praising Krishna for. Jiva Swabhave vacha yad anugrataha yat santi. Anugraha means mercy, and if you take out your mercy, if you actually don't give mercy to living entities, they'll not be able to do anything. Time cannot move. Nobody can do any actions. and no matter can sustain, nothing can sustain, and we'll not be able to do anything. We can't even enjoy without the mercy of Lord. That's the problem. We can't even enjoy, because to enjoy you need strength in your body. First of all, to enjoy you need free will. You have to be allowed to enjoy. You can die. Krishna can just finish all your plans in 1 second. So we like to make plans, 10-year plan, 15 years plan, 20 years plan, but Krishna can destroy all our plans. In 1 second, death can come. So we have to recognize, Prabhupada says we have to recognize that we are completely dependent on the grace of Lord. Our independence is also dependent on Him. We have to recognize this fact, and as soon as we recognize this fact, we are liberated. The amount of conditioning we have, that is directly proportional to our not recognizing this fact that everything is dependent on His mercy. And that's why people make plans. Prabhupada says God gives natural gifts, but man gives gigantic industrial enterprises. That's what man gives. So Kunti Maharani says God has given us fruits, trees, sunlight, air, and in that man should be satisfied and use these gifts to understand Him, rather than man is doing totally different thing. He's doing completely different. Man is making so many industries, scientific improvement, and trying to make themselves comfortable, but in that attempt to make himself comfortable, he is exploiting the gifts of Lord, nature, and by that he'll be involved into reactionary activities, reactions, and he will have to suffer. So Kunti desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them, so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. So that's what Kunti is helping us to understand. And then Kunti just changes her direction of prayers, and she says, O Lord of universe, soul of universe, 1 Canto 8, chapter 41st verse, O personality of the form of universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen and the Pandavas and Vrishnis. That's actually beautiful, and Prabhupada is raising many important points here. And the first point is, Kunti speaks two names of Krishna, Vishwa Atman and Vishwamurte. So Vishwa Atman means soul of the universe. So the point is, Krishna is soul of the universe. Soul of the universe means universe is dependent on Him for everything. But we become attached to universe and not to the soul. That's our problem. Just like we become attached to a body and not to our soul. Krishna is the soul of entire universe. We become attached to this universe and not to the super soul. And that's what Kunti is saying. Krishna, I am attached to my kinsmen, Pandava especially. Kunti was having affection for Pandava. It's natural to have affection for sons. So she's saying, but that is blocking my devotional service. And a pure devotee understands that without cutting the affection for family, for society, for nation, it's impossible to serve Lord. Why it's impossible to serve Lord? Because when we have affection for something, our eyes are blinded. Prabhupada says here that by affection, your activities are narrowed down. They are narrowed down, no? So that's what Chanakya Pandit says. For the benefit of society, leave your family. For the benefit of nation, leave the society. For the benefit of world, leave the nation. And for the benefit of soul, leave the world. That's what Chanakya Pandit said. It's a beautiful verse. So the point is, if we are attached to something, we will not be able to actually widen our scope of activities. No, like you have responsibilities. Just like as a householder, you have responsibilities of your wife and children, so you can't travel and preach. And the fact brahmacharis and sannyasis, they have cut all their affections and attachment, they can travel and preach. Naturally, their activities are widened and their consciousness is widened. So, attachment will not lead you to attain knowledge. That is why it is said, Vairagya Vidya. From Vairagya, detachment comes knowledge. Because if you are attached, then what happens is, you are thinking of something. If I am attached to my cell phone, I am always thinking of it. So I can't focus on some other concepts. No. So just like students are attached to going to movies and girlfriends, especially at that age, and they cannot focus on studies. So attachment will not allow you to focus on God. That's a problem. Attachment in itself is not bad, because to be attached to God is good. You can use this attachment you can be attached to God, and then that will bring more focus to Krishna. And this is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is just to take your attachment from this material world, put it in Krishna, so that our focus becomes, and that's the verse Krishna says in Bhagavatam, that vyavsayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate avyavsayinam, what's that? Bhahushaka ananthascha buddhi avyavsayinam. So a person whose intelligence is many branched, many branched means attached to so many things, he will not be able to focus on God. So that is why attachment is bad. Attachment to body, attachment to family, attachment. So because many people say, no, that what's the harm to be attached to family or to money or to our house? What's bad in that? No, it's my house. It's not your house. I'm being attached to. It's my house. I have earned by my hard work. So what's the problem in that? So and many people say, okay, fine. If I'm attached to my house, I'm not harming anybody. No, you're not killing anybody. You're not exploiting anybody. I'm simply attached. So what's the problem in that? But the problem is, if you're attached, you don't get knowledge. You get knowledge. Krishna says, mode of goodness. In Gita, Krishna says, Satogun. What is the symptom of Satogun? Symptom of Satogun is Prakashakam Anamayam. A person in mode of goodness, that means a person who is detached, automatically he will get the light of knowledge, Prakashakam, in all his senses. And he'll become pure. He'll start learning from everything. So, if you're attached to your cell phone, your car, you're always thinking of that. But if you become detached, then you start learning from sky, from air. Bhagavatam says, no, that Dattatreya had 24 gurus. He learned from sky, that like sky is so broad, and sky can accommodate anything, any number of clouds, any number of birds. Similarly, the heart and mind of saints is very broad and pure and forgiving. He learned from sky. He learned from air, that just like air is so fresh, and it doesn't stay at one place, it keeps on flowing. Similarly, devotees of Lord, they don't fix their mind on one thing in this material world. They use things, go forward. Use things for Krishna, go forward. They don't keep those things with him. Or maybe he learned something from water. He saw water is always coming from higher platform to lower. No? It flows from high to low. Similarly, people who are great devotees, they always take lower position. They are high in their consciousness, but they take a lower position. That's like water. Without water, you can't live. So water is so important, but it will take a low position. So devotees are so important for this material world, but because they can give knowledge of God to everybody, but still they take lower position, humble position. So you start learning from everything. You start learning from your mistakes. If you are attached to things around you, you will not learn from your mistakes. Because attachment will not allow you to see within. Attachment will force you to see outside you. Is it? Yes. So we have objects all around us, we are attached. So our mind will force us to think about food, about house, about money, about body. What about looking inside? No, you can't do that. As soon as you close your eyes, try to look inside you, try to introspect where I am right, where I am wrong. Mind will say, no, pizza. Or maybe you have to sleep. You have to eat. Something, he will do some problems. So that's a problem. People who are detached, they become Trikaldarshi. They can not only see within themselves, they can see time. They can see time flowing past, present, future. All rishis were Trikaldarshi, no? They can see into time. So this is the power of detachment. And that's what Kunti is saying. That not only time, not only oneself, but detachment, you can see the most subtle of subtlest God. You can see God. When you chant, and if your mind is perfectly focused on chanting, because it is not attached to anything, and then you can see God within that chanting. You'll be able to see that. So, Kunti prays, Sukdev Goswami prays. Sukdev Goswami says in first canto, Vidyate Hriday Granthi, Chhidyante Sarva Samshaya, Shiyante Chasya Karmani, Param Drishtva Evatmana Ishvare. Drishtva Evatmana Ishvare. One can see God within oneself when he cuts all the knots of attachment from within his heart. He cuts. And that is why people used to leave their house. Sannyas, after a certain age, you have to leave your house. No matter how much we feel detached from family, but real test is when you leave it. While living in household life, you can be detached. No problems. By doing devotion. By the power of devotion, you can be detached. But still there is a provision of sannyas. Okay, you are super detached to your family. So, my dear Guru Maharaj, can I stay in family? I'm detached. He said, no. You must leave. Real test is when you leave. Then we will come to know how much attached we were. Or how much detached we were. Without living, you don't understand, no? You don't understand, no? You have iPhone, okay, you're using daily. Somebody steals, then you will understand. My God. Then you will have tension, no? I have lost my iPhone. Until unless it's there with you, no problem. You don't feel the attachment. And that's why Krishna left gopis. Or Ram left Sita afterwards. To show how much attached they were.
Sita leaves Ram.
Sita leaves Ram? Yeah, Ram also abandons Sita afterwards. When she comes back, Ram abandons her to Valmiki ashram. So why he does so? To show how much attached they were. When you separate, then attachment comes up. No? Just like when you churn the milk, then cream comes. So when Krishna left Vraj, then people could see how much attached gopis were. Till that time when they were together, okay, Krishna, your nonsense, get lost. Things are going, no? So wife and husband are always fighting like cats and dogs. Prabhupada says, I don't say. But when they go away, then they feel, we are attached. We can't live with each other, without each other. We can't live with each other. We can't live without each other. That's a problem. So you're stuck up there.
We also should feel the same with Krishna.
Yeah. So we should feel the same way with Krishna. We can't live with Krishna. We can live with Krishna, but we can't live without him. So that's the point. And that's why people who take divorce, court gives a provision for 6 months. Think for 6 months, and when they stay away, then they can understand, like, okay, fine, we can't stay without each other, so let's just fight and stay, because it's not possible. There's a granthi, there's a knot. So vidyate hriday granthi, when all knots are cut, and you cannot cut the knot yourself, impossible. You have tied yourself, but you cannot open yourself. That's not in your hand. You have bound yourself. If you bind yourself, you will not be able to open yourself because you're bound. Somebody else has to come. What to do? So, vidyate hide granthi chidyante sarva samshaya. So, not only attachment binds you, but doubts also bind you. Doubts is also another kind of attachment. Attachment to? Doubts are attachment to what? Doubts are attachment to one's own ideas. That's why we have doubts. So if we attach to our own idea, then we will not be able to clearly see what is what, and then we have doubt. So doubts is attachment to ideas, or that is our own actions, karma, and then shiyante chasya karmani, and then we attach to our own actions, own activities. We do something, and then we become attached. No? And it happens, no? Like people who get interest in photography, and they keep on doing. They become photographers. They keep on doing photography. No, that's a mind is like that. You start doing something, and then you become addicted to that. Drugs, wine, money. So you become attached to actions. And Krishna Goswami says, when you are free from all these three attachments, attachment to matter, attachment to your own ideas, and attachment to your actions, then drishtvaya atmana ishvare, then atmani, then in your soul, which is very subtle, which you cannot see, you will be able to see your soul, and you will be able to see more subtle super soul within that soul. Atmana ishvare.
So how do we get, what is the process of detachment? You said we cannot do it ourselves.
We cannot do it ourselves. So that is why Kunti is saying, Vishvatman Vishvamurte Sokeshu me. Krishna, please therefore serve the tie of form and affection. Kunti is praying to Krishna. The only way to get free of attachment is prayers. Prayers. You have to pray to Krishna. You have to ask for divine help. There are two things you have to understand to get free of affection. One is, this Upanishad says, I think Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it says that first thing is you have to understand that I cannot free myself from attachment. It's impossible. We are helpless. And the second thing is we need help. And if you understand you need help, then you will shout.
Yes.
If you're not shouting, this means you are just saying, I need help, okay. And that shout is manifested as prayers, heartfelt prayers to Lord. So that is why Krishna wants to see that we come to a platform of spontaneous prayers. That shout is spontaneous, it's not something you remember. So Kunti is offering heartfelt prayers to Lord, and she's saying, Krishna, I'm sick of this attachment. I want to get rid of it. Please help me. Please help me to get out of attachment to matter, to ideas, to my actions. So Prabhupada says actually, in probably one of the purport, it is foolishness to assume that you can see in darkness.
Correct.
It's foolishness. So attachment means darkness. Darkness. Attachment will not allow your mind to actually see in other direction. You're seeing in one direction, that's all. It's pulling you. Darkness is pulling you. So how can you see? So to recognize you need help. You need sun, navigate. You need light. That light is God. But for that light to enter your heart, you have to pray. You have to pray. And Prabhupada says, Hare Krishna mantra is the best prayer. But you have to figure out that how it is best prayer. That is realization. We have to figure out ourselves how this chanting is a prayer. And in fact, I read this statement when I came to Krishna Consciousness, Science of Self-Realization. Hare Krishna mantra is the best glorification and best prayer. And I could understand neither of them. I couldn't understand at that time. But it takes so much time. After 20 years I am understanding it's a best prayer and best glorification. Because we don't feel like that, no? Theoretically you can understand, okay, it's name of God and you're chanting His name. But that feeling doesn't come. We chant Hare Krishna and we finish. But So that is a paroksh and aparoksh gyan. Prabhupada says. So at the level of paroksh gyan means, para means other, iksha means eyes. So to see from others' eyes, that is paroksh knowledge. And what do you mean by pratyaksh knowledge? Pratyaksh means see from our own eyes. Prati, aksha. So pratyaksh knowledge is absolutely useless. You are seeing from your own eyes. That's bound to be wrong. Seeing from others' eyes, paroksh, that's good knowledge. But from whose eyes you want to see everything? Whose eyes? From the eyes of scriptures, Shastra Chakshu. So that is paroksh knowledge. And that you can have now. That we have. Okay, you should not be attached. You should serve God. You should pray to get free of attachment. This all knowledge we have got from scriptures. Is it? We are seeing from the eyes of scriptures. So previously we were seeing our house from our own eyes. This is nice. But now we are seeing from the eyes of scriptures, oh no, this is temporary and I should not be attached. So that is paroksh. So from pratyaksh you have come to paroksh, at least. But you have to go to next level, aparoksh gyan. Prabhupada mentions this in one of his, in a few of his lectures. Aparoksh means, so okay fine, now here's a puzzle. Pratyaksh means your own eyes. Paroksh means from the eyes of scriptures. And what do you mean by aparoksh?
From the eyes of Krishna.
Okay, fine. But if you really see, paroksh means from others' eyes. But if you add in behind that, then again it negates paroksh gyan. It negates it. So then so then it means again seeing from your own eyes. That's the idea. You understand? You're understanding? No. So paroksh means from others' eyes. Aparoksh means not from others' eyes. So you're seeing from your own eyes. But now there is a difference. Previously we saw from our own eyes and that knowledge was wrong. But after paroksh gyan, now we are seeing from our own eyes, and that is not illusion. Why? Because without scriptural knowledge, when we see from our eyes, we see illusion. And with scriptural knowledge, when we see with our own eyes, we see Krishna. We don't see illusion. Our eyes are trained. And that is level of realization. Paroksh gyan is gyan, aparoksh gyan is vigyan. Your now eyes are trained to see exactly what is illusion and what is Krishna. So that's what Kunti is praying for. Kunti is saying, I know all these things. And that is why she is praying. Sneha pasham chindi. Cut all my affection. She knows, but she realizes this fact that she knows that she doesn't know. That's the point we have to understand. We know we have to pray.
I understand, but that apply.
Yeah, so we know we have to pray, but we know that we don't know how to pray. That thing we have to realize at the level of feeling, application, realization. And that from pratyaksh you can come to paroksh by your own efforts. You can go to class, you can read books, take knowledge. But from paroksh to aparoksh,
that is mercy.
Not your efforts, that is mercy. From agyan to gyan, you can go by your own efforts. But from gyan to vigyan, that is mercy. You can't go. But to go from paroksh to aparoksh, just from scriptural knowledge to realization, you have to do some effort, and that effort is you have to pray for mercy of Lord. That's what you have to do. So when He gives mercy, He'll take you out of those things. So that's this and Prabhupada makes one more point here, actually beautiful point. Prabhupada says pure devotee of Lord is ashamed to ask anything for self-interest. See, this is a very beautiful point, because Kunti is asking Lord a favor. Cut my ties. So okay, fine. Why she's asking? Because she knows her own efforts, she's helpless. So you have to pray, but at the same time she is conscious of the fact that prayers is for her own self-interest. So how does a devotee keep both contradictions within her mind? Because you're not supposed to ask for your self-interest, But nevertheless, Kunti is saying, cut the ties of affection.
To serve Krishna.
Yeah, so the point is, she's asking this favor to serve Him. So you can ask any favor from Lord until unless it helps to serve Him. It helps to come close to Him. And Krishna will be happy, okay. Why? Because to come close to Him, that is not our plan. That is His plan. He is inviting us. He invited us. We were loitering around. We didn't go, we want to come. So it is His agenda. He invited us and now we are with us. He is eager that we should be with Him. So when we ask this favor, Krishna, please cut all this affection. I want to be with you. I want to be with you to fulfill your desire. Not my desire to be with you. That's a subtle difference there. And if you think that you will be happy without me, then you should pray, Krishna, please never allow me to come near you. Then that time you should pray like that. So your prayer may change. If Krishna becomes happy that you should go to hell, then what should be your prayer?
Send me to hell.
Krishna, please send me to hell as soon as possible. So Kunti understands all these things. And that's why Kunti is asking a favor from Lord. And Krishna is very happy to actually hear these prayers from Kunti. And Prabhupada says here that a Brahman, a devotee, a king, and a public leader, 4 people, they should be very broad-minded in discharging their respective duties. They should not be attached to anything, otherwise their decisions will be wrong. And here I'll come to this point. But first, if a leader and a king is attached to their family or to the kingdom, the decisions will be wrong. They will not be able to decide. A king or leader who is attached to woman, he will not be able to decide properly. He will favor women. That often happens, no? And then they are caught in scandals or whatever. So it's like that. Attachment brings wrong decisions, even practically. Not just spiritual life. Even practical decisions are wrong. Like Karna, he was attached. He was attached to Duryodhana. And Krishna personally came and told Karna, see, you are the eldest brother. And he should come and take the position of Pandavas and we will win the fight and you will be the king. But he was so stupid, he was attached to Duryodhana. Because Duryodhana held him. He was even not attached to Duryodhana. He was attached to his own self-esteem. Duryodhana actually, you know this, no? When Duryodhana and Arjuna when Arjuna and Karna had a competition, so they denied Karna.
Yeah.
He's a Sut Putra and all this. So Duryodhana told, okay, no, I'll make him a Kshatriya. So his self-esteem was hurt. And Duryodhana saved his self-esteem. And that is why he was attached to Duryodhana, because Duryodhana saved his self-esteem. He was attached to his self-esteem. And anything which is favorable to his self-esteem, he is favorable to him. So he is attached to self-esteem. And that's why he couldn't see that God is personally coming, requesting, and he's such a fool that he denied that request. So he took a wrong decision, see. So king and a leader, they should not be attached. And a devotee and a brahmana, Prabhupada says here. This is interesting actually. Prabhupada says a devotee and a brahmana also should not be attached to anything. Otherwise, they will not be broad-minded in discharging devotional service. For example, I'll give you a practical example of devotee. And this is very practical, and you might all be facing this. So you are running Bhakti Vikasa, and you have some people coming, and then probably you don't want any other devotee to come and speak because he might influence them and take them with him. This happens. That's why there is groupism. So many devotees say, no, you should not go and listen to them, because if you listen to them, then they are afraid that these people will take them, influence them and take them. So that is an example of attachment. You are attached not to actually giving message of Krishna, you are attached to people who are taking the message. And you think they are under you, and they should be with you. And that's why there are groups and people are fighting and so that's a problem. So they are not broad-minded. They keep people with them. But ideally it should be, you should go and listen to anybody, no problem. The leader should make them so mature that they should be able to take a decision and understand what is wrong and what is right. Otherwise, what we are doing? Otherwise, we are not making them mature. We are keeping them immature. That's the problem.
Prabhupada asked us initially what is not to God.
Prabhupada said, by the way, initially to his devotees not to go to his God brothers. That Prabhupada did. Initially, probably because these were all foreign devotees and they had no idea, and they could have slipped into Sahajism and so many things.
Many did too.
Yeah, many did do. So probably initially you can tell, okay, read Prabhupada books, focus, but then after some time you have to tell them, see, look, you should read and become mature, and wherever you want to go, you're free. You're not my property. You want to go to them? Okay, go to them, no problems. But perfect your life. That's what we want. Become pure. So that's one of the example of not being broad-minded due to attachment. That often happens. And a Brahmana, so all these, Prabhupada says, Kunti is, and the worst of all attachment is attachment to family, which Kunti is now into this problem. That's the worst of all attachments, because that will not allow us to pursue absolute truth and properly. So that's Kunti is saying, and now Kunti is saying in 42nd verse, O Lord of Madhu, she's praying now, as Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. So anyway, by the way, just like devotee parents are attached to their children, so parents should give devotional education to child, but they should not be attached to children because they are their child. That's a bad thing. But if you attach like that, then if your child doesn't do devotion, then you will be in tension, anxiety, as many parents are, devotee parents. So my child is not coming to devotion, and they become anxious. But great acharyas were not like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had 10 children. None of them came in devotion except Bhakti Siddhanta and Lalit Prasad, 2 of them. 8 of them were completely materialistic. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not in anxiety. He did his duty, and if they don't come, okay. Advaita Acharya, he had sons. He had many sons. But many of them didn't come to devotion. He is God. So he was in anxiety, no problem. It's your destiny. So, but if you're attached to your own children, then if they don't do devotion, then parents become anxious, what to do, what not to do. But that's a wrong thing. So that's what Kunti is praying, that let me be attached to you. Let my attachment flow towards you like Ganges flow towards sea. So Ganges will not stop until unless she meets the sea. You can make a dam, but she will divert and she has to go to the sea. There it's going to stop. Similarly, our affection should be so strong to Krishna that nothing can stop it. No affection to God is so strong that no other affection for this material world, for matter, for ideas, for actions, it cannot stop our devotion to Lord Krishna if it is pure. But for that we need mercy of Lord to make our attraction pure to Krishna. So Kunti is praying that. This is a famous example. Ganges flowing towards sea. Let my attraction be constantly drawn into you without being diverted to anybody else. My attraction be diverted towards only to your transcendental loving service. And Kunti wants that platform. Kunti is eager to go to that platform. So, how to get free of attachments? Kunti is giving some hints. First thing is pray. First point, always pray. Keep on praying, because you need help. Your efforts, it's not possible. And the second point Kunti is saying, be eager to attain that platform. Be eager. Pray with eagerness. I want to become pure. I want to get free of all these attachments. If we pray and if we are not eager, we will not advance very fast. If you are eager, yes, I want all my emotions, all my emotions, all my desires, all my attachments should only be for Krishna. And when Krishna sees that eagerness, he will fulfill that. He will bless that. He will say, okay, no problem. You are so eager. So it's almost like a child, no? A child says to parents, Papa, I want a toffee. Or not toffee, maybe chips. Chips, maybe chips or Coca-Cola. In mall, parents say, no, I lost. Then he'll again come. Papa, no, I want chips. And then he will explain, no, it's not good for health, it is something he will say. Then you go out. Then again he'll come with chips. Papa, I want this. So he's praying. And after he comes fourth time, you know that he's very eager also. He'll not stop. And then say, okay, fine, take the chips. Otherwise he'll say no. So similarly, Krishna, you pray, Krishna, please get free of my free me of this attachment. You are chanting and praying. So Krishna says, okay, let's wait. And then you keep on praying. Krishna says, let's wait. And then you say, no, Krishna, I want this to get out. I want to free itself. So when you come fourth time, Krishna says, okay, take it. So this is the second tip, eagerness and prayers. And to maintain that eagerness and that prayer attitude, you have to make your life in such a way so that they don't get destroyed. They are very soft, that eagerness. Because suppose you are having so much mood to pray to Krishna. Suppose you chant nicely and your mood becomes like that. Krishna, please. Sometimes it happens, no? Our mind becomes, Krishna, you are everything and we want to be with you. Mind becomes so nice. And then you see TV and some serial, everything will wash down. Everything goes off. So you have to protect this emotion and then nurture this emotion and increase it so that slowly and steadily it becomes so intense that Krishna will be helpless to fulfill your desire. Just like parents are helpless to fulfill desire of child, not out of compulsion but out of love, out of seeing that eagerness. He wants this, okay, good. That's the second tip she is saying. That eagerness of Ganges to meet sea, eagerness of a devotee to meet the Lord. That we need. So I'll just finish. So, and that how that eagerness and prayers will come. How it will come. What to do? You can't buy that eagerness anywhere. There's no shop. You can't make yourself to pray spontaneously. You can pray artificially, but spontaneous prayers will not come. So how that will come? Kunti is ending her prayers by chanting the names of Lord. By chanting His different names, just by glorifying Krishna. Every day, every moment, that eagerness will come slowly. Just by glorifying Him. Because by glorifying Him, we will come to know Him. When you come to know Him, you become attached to Him. And the more you become attached to Him, you can't help yourself having this desire to meet Him. He is such a perfect person. He is so handsome. He is so beautiful. I have to meet Him at least once. No? So the more you know Him, the more you want to meet Him. It's like that, no? The more you know a girl, the more you want to meet her. And then you can become mad also. Romeo and Juliet, they can die. So how to know Him? By chanting His names. And that's why Kunti is chanting many names of God. Shri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, Vrishni Rishbhani Druk, 43rd verse, 1843. Rajanne Vamsha Dhana Apavarga Virya, Govinda Goidija Surarti Hara Avtara, Yogeshwara Akhila Guru, Bhagavan Namaste. So many names Krishna has given. We chant Hare Krishna, but then there are so many other names of Lord. Yashomati Nandan, Brajavara Nagara. We sing that bhajan. We sing that bhajan because they are names. So names, if you chant these names and if you meditate on these names, not just sing them, but if you meditate on these names, you will understand His qualities. These names are based on His qualities. And when you know His qualities, you can understand His actions. And when you know His actions and qualities, you become attached to Him. Because that's perfect, pure, devoid of all selfishness. And naturally you'll be attracted to such a personality. And then you'll be eager to meet Him. Finish. You're finished. Your funda is finished. And then Krishna will give you mercy and finish all your attractions and bring you back to Himself. So you can read these names, very nice names. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna. So all these names are having His qualities. Krishna, your friend of all living entities. O chief amongst descendants of Vrishni, you are the perfect leader. You are the destroyer of political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. You are full of power. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of transcendental abode. So you are the maintainer of devotees. You descend to relieve distress of cows, brahmanas and devotees. You think of everybody's welfare. You possess all mystic powers. You are omnipotent. You are the preceptor of entire universe. You are Almighty God. How are you respectful obeisances? So that's the way to achieve God, chanting His holy names and meditating on them and trying to understand what are His qualities behind these names, His actions. That's what we should be doing, and Kunti does that when she ends the prayers. Okay, so she starts with glorification, ends with glorification, and in between she prays. If you read these prayers, so that's the system. You glorify Him, pray to Him, and end with glorification. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Any questions, or we're going to stop here now? Oh, you wanted to ask a question?
Yeah, I was just taking your analogy.
Yeah, Mataji, can you please wait? Somebody's asking a question. Just a minute.
Prabhu, the
Yeah.
Canto 1,
Yeah.
what is the text number that you have put it today?
I have discussed the first canto, 8th chapter, 41, 42 and 43. 3 verses.
And my second question is, Prabhu, that you talked about self-realization, pratyoks and apratyoks. I am totally confused.
Why you are confused? It's simple. See, there is one knowledge which is called as pratyaksh. Pratyaksh means looking through your own eyes. So everybody is seeing this word through their own eyes. So a businessman, when he sees this word, he sees money everywhere. And a lusty person, when he sees this word, he will see lust everywhere. An animal, when he sees this word, he will see meat everywhere. So that's called pratyaksh gyan. So if we are cheaters, we will think everybody is a cheater. That's what is going to happen. If we are pure, we will think everybody is pure. So we are looking through our own idea, through our own eyes. Looking through your own eyes means looking through your own ideas. We have a presumed idea, and we are looking that word through like that. If you put a green glass, you will see everything green. If you put red, you will see everything red. So whatever your mentality is there, you will look everybody with same mentality, and you will not be able to look that person as it is. That's the problem. That is called pratyaksh gyan. We all are like that. People who don't have any knowledge, they are like that, and they think so a terrorist will think other people are bad, and they will start killing everybody, and and they will not be able to look anything good in anybody. So like that is called pratyaksh. So without scriptural knowledge, everybody has pratyaksh gyan. Pratyaksh means knowledge due to their own experience. when we have knowledge according to our own limited experience of a small life, that is called pratyaksh. But then obviously an intelligent person understands this knowledge is not right, because it is based on our limited experience of this material world. So this knowledge is also limited, and limited knowledge cannot be correct always. It can be sometimes correct, but most of the times it's not correct. It is limited. So he wants knowledge which is not limited, which is unlimited. He wants an experience. He wants experience from somebody who is unlimited. And who is that? That is God. And where is his knowledge? In scriptures. So a person reads scriptures. Scriptural knowledge is unlimited, and because it is based on unlimited experience of God. That knowledge is not limited just because limited knowledge is based on your personal experience. That is pratyaksh jnana. So that knowledge which is based on the experience of God and which is unlimited, that is scriptural knowledge, and that knowledge is called as paroksh. Paroksh jnana. Paroksh means, para means other, iksha means eyes. When you look not through your own eyes, when you look not through your own experience, when you look not through your own limited knowledge, and you look this world and everything else by the eyes of scriptures, that is others' eyes, and that is the eyes of Krishna, the eyes of scriptures, and when you look this world through the unlimited knowledge and experience of scriptures, then that is called paroksh jnana. So we all have that. So you can read Bhagavatam for that, Gita. That's why we are hearing lectures to have this paroksh jnana. So paroksh jnana in simple words means scriptural knowledge. Pratyaksh jnana means your own experiential knowledge. So now when you are hearing this lecture, you are hearing me, you are getting paroksh jnana, you are getting knowledge of scriptures. This is not your knowledge. This is knowledge of scriptures. This is not your experience. This is experience of God and rishis. That is paroksh. But the point is, this is not the end. This is not the end, because paroksh jnana is just knowledge, theoretical knowledge. This is not realization. Now we need realization of this knowledge. So the realization of this knowledge is called aparoksh jnana. That is next level. So paroksh means looking through one's eyes. Aparoksh means looking through your own eyes. Now again you are looking through your own eyes, but now your eyes are having knowledge of scriptures and not your own knowledge. Now your eyes are trained in scriptural knowledge, and then when you can see, not theoretically just by listening to these lectures, but you can see for yourself. You can see for yourself what is soul and what is body. You just don't know, but you can experience for yourself. Now your experience is not based on your limited experience. Now you can experience soul, and this experience is based on knowledge of scriptures. That is called aparoksh jnana. So that is the level of realization. So we have to come to level of aparoksh, or level of realization, and not just be satisfied with theoretical knowledge. So you understand, so pratyaksh knowledge is your own experiential knowledge, limited. Paroksh knowledge is knowledge of scriptures, that is unlimited. And aparoksh knowledge is a level of realization. When you apply scriptures in your life, then you will be able to realize for yourself that this is true. Now you don't realize yourself that this is true. Now you just believe that you are soul and you are not the body, but you don't know. You don't know. We don't know. So when you know for yourself, but what's happening? Well, how do we change this? So when you know for yourself, then actually that is called aparoksh jnana, the level of realization. So we have to go till there, till aparoksh jnana. So do you understand now? You're confused or like not confused?
Yes, sir. I'm very, very clear now. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
But then again, Prabhupada says from day one you become a preacher. How can you become a preacher if you have probes?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Prabhupada said that from day one you become preacher, and Prabhupada also said that as a preacher you are like a postman. So we are simply like a postman. We are giving that knowledge what we have heard to others. We don't claim that we are on a paroksha level. We don't claim we are realized. We say that fine, we are not realized, but we are giving you this knowledge. It's a request, you take this knowledge, and perhaps you can become more realized than me and then help me. That we have request to people. You understand? So in that capacity we preach. That's okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very nice lecture.
Hare Krishna. So any other questions? Anybody? Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
That's
Krishna.
the most beautiful class. And I think Queen Kunti has perfected the art of prayer.
Yeah.
And it's just really incredible how you walked us through, her process. The question that comes to my mind is the distinction between detachment and compassion. It seems to me that on one hand we've got to completely detach on the material platform in order to attach ourselves to Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Yet at the same time, Bhakti is also about developing deep compassion, deep love for Krishna and also for all living entities.
Yeah, I understand your point. Yeah, it's a important point. And
so how would one go about that?
Okay.
A little bit contradictory.
It seems contradictory, but it's not. So detachment and compassion, that's a question. And detachment and compassion seems contradictory, because in compassion you have to be attached to that person to give compassion. Otherwise, how do you give? If you're totally detached, then you're not even thinking of that object. And if you're not thinking of that object, then you can't extend your compassion. But that's not contradictory, because when you become detached to everything and become attached to Krishna, then you have real compassion. Now, the compassion of this word, so non-devotees also do compassion. Of course, America is land of compassion. That's what Americans understand. So, many of them, like vegans, okay, fine. So they are not eating meat because they feel they are compassionate towards animals. But devotees are also compassionate to everybody, but both is different. So non-devotees, they are compassionate because they are attached to that concept. First of all, their own concept they are attached. Their own concept that I have to be non-violent. They are compassionate because they are attached to themselves. I must be a good man, so I have to do compassion. Because they are attached to themselves, so they want to see themselves as good, and that's why they extend compassion. But for a non-devotee, and a non-devotee is also attached to object of his compassion. But a devotee is not like that. Devotee is not attached to his own idea that I have to extend compassion to this. No, he is attached to idea of God, of Krishna. He is detached from all material ideas, all his own ideas. He is attached to idea of God. So if Krishna says you have to be compassionate on cows, we are compassionate on cows. If Krishna says you don't need to be compassionate on tigers or snakes, you're not compassionate to snakes. If Krishna says if snakes comes, you can kill him. So we are not attached. Our compassion is not born of attachment of our own ideas. Our compassion is not born of attachment to the objects of compassion. No, we are simply compassionate because Krishna wants us to be compassionate to them. We are following his ideas. So if tomorrow Krishna says don't be compassionate to them, we will not be compassionate. That's the point. If we would have been attached to that object of compassion, then if Krishna changes decision, we will not be able to change our decision. You see, and Bible is full of these incidences. Bible. And Bible starts with the story of Abraham. Abraham is so much attached to his child, and then God says, "You sacrifice him to me." And then he says, okay, fine. If you want me to sacrifice, fine. So if you want me not to be compassionate to this child, okay, I'll kill him. And you see Bible, so you read Old Testament. So Krishna says, okay. So Krishna says to Moses, fine, you kill all those opponents. So if you have read Old Testament, Moses had a tribe, and they were roaming in desert, and they had to fight with other tribes who were trying to attack them. So God says, okay, fine, Moses, you take away all people and kill all of them, and don't be merciful. Kill even a child in that kingdom, even a goat. Don't be merciful. Kill everybody. God says, and Moses says, okay, fine. If you don't want to be compassionate at this point, I will not be. And in fact, in Bible, one story comes. So God says to one king, who was a devotee. So he says, go and attack, and you should kill everybody. Don't be compassionate. That's my order. So he goes, he kills everybody, but then he takes a goat from that kingdom, and he thinks, okay, so I'll take this goat and then sacrifice to God. This is a very nice goat. So he carries, and then God says, I told you have to kill everybody, but you didn't follow my order, so you have to suffer for that. So that's the idea. Our compassion is not born due to attachment to that object. Our compassion is born due to attachment to Krishna. Krishna wants us to be compassionate, so we are compassionate. If Krishna wants, don't be compassionate, we'll just stop our compassion, everything. So we are not attached to compassion also. That is complete detachment. Detachment means not being attached to any object, any idea. We are not attached to compassion. We can leave compassion anytime if Krishna wants. So our attachment is completely for Krishna. Our attachment is, and all good qualities are proceeding from that attachment from God, to God, not anything else. And that's the difference between a devotee's compassion and a non-devotee's compassion. So it is complete detachment. So when a devotee is doing compassion on somebody, he is not thinking of that person. He is thinking of Krishna. He is thinking, oh, Krishna is satisfied because I am helping that person to spiritually advance. That's the idea. And so Krishna will give blessings to me and to him, like that. So true compassion is actually full of detachment, and then only you will be able to do true compassion. And Prabhupada says, if you attach to somebody, then you will have more compassion on one and less compassion on other. If you are truly detached with everybody, then you can extend true detachment to everybody, to humans, to animals, to everybody, and on platform of soul, not on platform of body. So so do you understand? This is not contradictory.
Yeah, so it's almost like compassion is a natural outcome of bhakti.
It's a natural outcome. From
detachment arises compassion, and the ultimate compassion is really to serve others so that they can ignite their natural dormant Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So that is the ultimate.
Yeah, that's a point. And the next point which we have to understand is we have to be detached from compassion also, if required. If required. We are not to be attached even to compassion. We are only attached to Krishna. And now Krishna wants us to be compassionate. Okay, good. But if time comes, he says, kill everybody, we are ready. Just like to Arjuna. That's what Gita all about. Arjuna was saying, let me have compassion to all these people, and they're so nice. Krishna says, you fool, I want you to kill them. And that is detachment. Detachment from everything except Krishna, even compassion. So that's the difference between non-devotee and devotee. So is it clear? That point has to be understood properly. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, thank you. Yeah.
But on the same point, if a devotee feels compassion to others because they are separated from Krishna, and then he wants to preach to others, so that type of...
Yeah, if a devotee feels compassion to others because they are separate from Krishna, that's okay. But we feel compassion for others because Krishna wants us to feel that way. So it's not that person is separate from Krishna and I am feeling compassionate towards him because he's away from Krishna. Come on. We are compassionate because Krishna wants us to be compassionate to that person. That's what I'm saying. If tomorrow Krishna says, everybody is separate from me, you kill them. Okay, no problem. To hell with compassion, we'll kill them. So everything proceeds from attachment to God and detachment from matter. Otherwise, we'll be implicated. That's the idea. Okay, any other question anybody has to ask? Or you want to?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Just like Mataji said, very nice class. I know that we are not at the level of Kunti Maharani, where she's always asking for problems.
Yeah.
So, she's in remembrance of Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
What? So?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you nicely.
Okay. No, I'm saying that we're not at the level of Kunti Maharani where we can ask for problems so we can remember Krishna.
Yeah. So,
but what happens is that the reality is such that, that we actually, when we are in problem only, then we remember Krishna.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we, although we're not at that level, but can we also do a similar prayer to Krishna, or it will be like some kind of because we are not at that level of
okay,
so
fine.
Can you emphasize something on this?
No, you see one thing, you have answered your own question. See, even if we don't ask for problems are anyway going to come. And Krishna says life is always full of problems, no? So problems are anyway going to come. So why don't we ask to Krishna, give me problems. So let problems come from you, not from this material world. You plan problems for me in such a way so that I can learn from that. And not that, if he doesn't plan problems, anyway Maya is ready to plan problems for you. And she has already planned. So Kunti is very intelligent to ask Krishna, put me in problems so that I can always see you within my heart or directly, whatever, because she knows anyway problems are going to come. Anyway, so anyway they had faced so many problems. Everybody has problems in life. If they didn't have any problems, we would have been in Vaikuntha. So this is a very intelligent prayer. Krishna, give me problems. Let problems come from your side, because any problem which comes from his side, that's auspicious. Any problem which comes from side of illusion, that will harm you. So you can pray like that, and then you'll learn. Then we can learn. Then we'll be able to learn much faster than what we are learning now. We should not be afraid of problems. We should be afraid of not advancing in devotional life. So whether we are at that platform or not at that platform, this is an intelligent prayer, and we are praying to Krishna. Krishna, you manage our problems in such a way so that we learn from that, so that we don't go down, we go up, and then he will plan accordingly. That's no problem. You can pray like that. It's a beautiful prayer. It's not a wrong prayer. But ideally we should pray, Krishna, engage me in service. That's a good prayer, what Prabhupada says. And if to increase my service, you think I should have problems, give me problems. If to increase my service you think I should not have problems, then it's your wish. That's the ideal prayer. But by Kunti is praying for problems because she has experienced that when problems were there, Krishna was there, and now when problems are over, Krishna is going. So actually she is not praying for problems. Like it's not that she's praying for problems. She likes problems. No. She likes association of God. And in her life, not in our life, in her experience, whenever there were problems, Krishna was there with them. And now there's no problem, Krishna is not there. So Kunti is asking for problems. So she's not asking for problems, she's asking for association of Lord. And in that circumstance, in her circumstance, the service of Lord or his association was related to problems. And that is why she's praying. And no other devotee prays. Prahlad doesn't pray, Dhruv doesn't pray, Bhishma doesn't pray for problems. Why? If problems were required to advance in devotion, then everybody would have prayed. But that's not required. That is favorable in the life of Kunti. But in our life, That is why in our life we can pray, Krishna, what is favorable to my devotional service, you give that. What is unfavorable, you remove. Whether it be problem or no problem, whatever it is. Is it okay? That's the answer.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And like the very fact that, whenever we do have problems, so I always remember this thing about Kunti Maharani that, she was always asking for problems. So, here I have problem and I'm saying, please take away my problem. And here she's asking for problem.
Yeah.
So just on the opposite forum, So she's so great that, she's at that level where, she can actually ask and then also...
Actually, that's what I was telling, that she is not afraid to ask those things which is favorable to her devotional service. That's the idea. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada says. We should unhesitatingly ask those. We should not be hesitate to ask those things which are actually favorable to our devotional service, although it might not be favorable to our own mood and experience. That's Kunti. So by asking problems, she's helping us to understand, accept everything what is favorable to devotional life, even if you don't like. That might not be problems, that might be something else. But ask for that. And reject those things which are unfavorable without any hesitation. So she wants to reject her family ties, which she doesn't like. But no, I want to reject. She wants to ask for problems, that also she doesn't like. But she understands both of them are favorable to devotional life. And that's what she is teaching. She is not teaching to ask for problems. She is not teaching to ask Krishna take away our problems. Neither of them. We are not attached to this concept of asking problems or taking away our problems. We are attached just to one concept. What is favorable, we'll pray. So today, if problems are favorable to our devotional service, we'll pray for problems. If tomorrow, taking away all our problems is favorable to devotional service, we'll pray Krishna take away all our problems. So it might change in this life also, according to what is favorable, what is unfavorable. That is what Kunti is teaching. So now it is clear to you. That should be clear properly.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for picking up this topic today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I got one question. When Kunti Maharani, she knew that when problems were there, Krishna was with them. So, and when problems are done, our problems are gone and Krishna is going away. So, how do we know that the problem is getting in the problem is good, or we don't have any problem, then our devotional services, or how do we know that?
No, we don't. That's what I was explaining. No, we don't have to be in problems or without problems. We are not attached to a life without problems. Or we don't want a life with problems. We want a life with Krishna. And whatever keeps Krishna with us, pray for that, do that. Whatever takes Krishna away, pray for that, do that. That's all simple. So we don't have to focus on problems. That problem thing is in Kunti's circumstances. She's teaching through that example. She's not saying pray for them or don't pray for them. She's teaching us, rather, don't be attached to praying for no problems or problem. Be attached to be with God. That's what we have to be doing. So if, for example, if buying a car is favorable for a devotional service, then you should buy a car. You can pray, Krishna, please, I want a car because I want to do book distribution. So that is good. But then afterwards you feel you have become attached to your car. Then you can pray, Krishna, please take away my car. I have become attached. So like that, it's taking away from me, from you. So that you have to focus. What is favorable, what is unfavorable, and do that. That it's okay with you. Do you understand? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Hare
thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is very, very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have time for one question.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me. Please ask.
You mentioned about how Bhaktivinoda Thakur children, he was not attached to them. Some of them were not devotees.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we have this that nobody should become a mother or father if he cannot deliver the child.
Yeah.
We have become without thinking, but now how to balance both, like in our attached condition.
Well, it's simple. Just do your duty. Give them Krishna consciousness, and then live on destiny. You can't force anybody. So they are different living entities. You can do your best, what you can, and then just leave them. If they are not doing devotion, still in spite of your best of the endeavors, don't be under stress or anxiety. After some time, Krishna will do something and bring them back. Somehow or the other. That's the ideals. That's how we should act in family life. Otherwise, we'll be entangled. If we have anxieties, they are not becoming devotees. What to do? And then people start forcing children. It's like that, no? And then they revolt. Just forget this. You try to help them and make them devotees. So below 14 years, you can actually force. That scripture says. Below 13, 14 years, you can always force children. But after 13, 14 years, no, you can't force. They are elder. So it is said, when a child starts wearing the shoes of his father, then he can't force now. So 14, 15 years, teenage, then you leave them. You have done your duty, you can tell them, and then whatever they want to do, that's okay. And then they'll come back again, if Krishna wants, like that. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So I think
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just want all the devotees here to pray because we are in Florida. There's a storm coming which is very, very high category. It's called Matthew. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. And so there is everything is shut down here, and Friday, colleges, schools are closed. So we've been told to stay at home, and there's a state of emergency here in Florida. So just, the devotees' prayers are always helpful, and this topic today was very, very perfect, for listening today morning, because I don't know what state we'll be tomorrow, day after, what's going to happen. So I was trying to read about Govardhan Puja, which is coming up, how Krishna protects, devotees and non-devotees too. So just pray for us that, everything just, because when it comes near the land, it kind of fizzles out sometime, but right now it's category 3 and 4.
Acha.
So that's the thing.
Okay, yeah, maybe all devotees can pray for devotees of Florida. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If you can end it.
Thank you so much, everybody.
I just so Hare Krishna to all devotees. I just want to tell there are more of my lectures on my site. The site name is puredevotee.com. So you can always go there and hear more lectures.
Your conference recording has stopped.
Yeah. So site name is puredevotee.com. And again, thank you very much for all of you to listening this lecture, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.